Hey, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Well, we have made it to the end of the first week of the semester. I hope you're doing well. Hope you had a good first week. And I know the first week can always be interesting and a little bit challenging because everybody's trying to find a new routine and we're trying to get settled into a new schedule and kind of get our ebb and flow of how the week is going to go each week and how our eating schedules are going to work around our class schedules and our sleeping schedules, and all of that is to be ironed out in that first week. So I know that you all have been going through that as well as I, and I feel like next week I'll be in the groove a little bit better, and we'll be ready to get going with the semester. But again, welcome to Ole Miss. Hope you've had a good first week. Hope you're really excited about this first semester of the fall 2023 semester. I think you guys are going to have a great experience here at Ole Miss. I think you're going to have a great semester, and I hope you're excited and looking forward to it. One of the things I wanted to just touch base with you briefly is just to kind of review where we are in the class at this point and where the rest of the content for the class is going to be coming from over the course of the semester as we move forward, where to find some of that information in Blackboard. And I also wanted to talk about the RhetLab modules for just a second, because you will notice that when the Module 2 folder opens up, it's probably opened up already by now, and I'll show that to you here in just a minute. But when the Module 2 folder opens up, you will have an assignment that says RhetLab modules on rhetorical reading. And so I wanted to just kind of explain what those are, where you find them, and how you access them. So let me share my screen here for just a second, and I'll try to keep this shorter than my other videos to you, so that we don't take up too much of your time. But as you notice, when you log into and click on our Writing 101, Writing Online, Section 6, 2023-2024 class heading from your class Blackboard page, this is the first module that pops up. Every time you log into Blackboard, this information from this module is going to pop up automatically. I've done that in case you need to watch a video or refresh your memory on how to submit assignments in Blackboard, how to check your grades in Blackboard. All of that information is in the Module 1 folder. It will stay in there all semester, as well as the syllabus folder that you looked at to complete the syllabus quiz. That will stay open and available all semester. So if you've printed off a syllabus and lost it, or just want to take a quick look at an electronic copy, those two file folders will stay open all semester. But what you will need to do as you kind of move away from this Module 1 folder and we start getting into our course content folders, you just want to go over here to where it says Content, and you're going to click Content. Now, my screen's a little bit different because I'm looking at this from the instructor and the faculty side, so you may not see everything that's on my page, but you get a basic idea here. You will see this module will pop up. It's called Module 2, Self-Concept, Viewing Myself as a Writer. So this is set up very much like the other module was, the first module, and this is set up pretty much how all the modules will come. Every semester, you'll have a module pretty much due every week. By Friday at midnight. I turn these modules on also on Fridays. So if you want to start working on the next module over the weekend, you're welcome to do that. So if you finish up Module 1, let's say, for example, by lunchtime today, Module 2 will already have turned on. And if you want to start working on Module 2 over the weekend, before you get into next week and before you get involved in other classes and other assignments and other homework activities and that kind of thing, you'll have access to that. So this should kick on here in just a minute. It's about 9:59 in the morning when I'm recording this, so this should kick on in just a second. But this is basically how the modules are set up. There's a description of the kind of an overview and narrative of what the module is about, the objectives, what you will learn or understand or demonstrate by the end of the module, and I always put the due dates here at the bottom so that you'll have that as a reminder. But I'm going to go ahead and click on this because it hasn't turned on yet. So these are the assignments that are due in that module. One is a writing apprehension questionnaire. One asks you to think about who you are as a writer, where you are right now as a writer in terms of your comfort level, your familiarity level, and how you view yourself there. And then I've got a couple of another assignment, Writers on Writing, where you get to see what other writers have said about writing and why it's important. There's a discussion board, but you'll see down here at the bottom, this is the one I wanted to show you. This says RhetLab on rhetorical reading. We do these RhetLab modules at various times over the course of the semester, and this is supplemental information that will get you ready for some of the major assignments that are coming forward in the class. So this will give you some tips and strategies on reading, and not just reading for pleasure and for understanding content, but how to analytically read, how to pull key pieces of information from things that you're reading, because we are going to be doing work with the Common Read, with Dave Isay's book on work. We're going to be looking at that and doing some activities with that. We get later on in the semester, I'm going to be providing you with some articles and resource material that you'll have to read on your own. So this just gives you some tips and strategies for how to read that information, not just to understand it, but also be able to kind of pull important pieces of information from it in case you have to do a discussion board post or write an essay or do some other kind of assignment. But this is all the information here. But I wanted to show you where the RhetLab modules are located. If you go into the Blackboard page and you click on RhetLab Fall 2023, that's where the RhetLab modules are located. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this. Again, you're going to see some things on my screen that you won't have on your screen. But down here, under this tab that says Succeeding with Waymaker, these are the RhetLab modules. So when I say in the instructions, go to the Rhetorical Reading RhetLab module, this is where I'm talking about. This is the Rhetorical Reading RhetLab module. Now, we're not going to do all of these. Some of these are more geared for Writing 102 and other writing courses here in the department, so we're not going to do every single one of these RhetLab folders or RhetLab assignments, but this is everything that the cartridge accesses. The first time that you log into the RhetLab modules, it will ask you to make a payment. I think the modules are $25 or $30. You can just pay with a debit or credit card. Once you do that, that will give you access to these RhetLab modules. So you won't see this until you pay the $25 or $30. That RhetLab module license is good for an entire academic year. So it'll be good from August all the way through May. So you can always go back to these and refresh your memory on these if you want to use some of this information for another class, either this semester that you're taking or Writing 102 in the spring if you're going to be taking that, or some other kind of writing course here in the department. You can have access to these modules and all the content for an entire year. So a pretty good deal for $25 or $30, whatever it may be. But once you have paid your fee and gotten access, this is what you're going to see that is going to pop up on your screen. And so I'm just going to go ahead and click on the Rhetorical Reading. There's two sections to each one of these RhetLab modules. This one on Rhetorical Reading. One is the study plan, which is basically the information about rhetorical reading. And so when I click on this, it kind of takes you through. It shows you where to start, why it matters. You have a chance to kind of dive in. It gives you some information about context, active reading strategies, vocabulary building. Again, ways that you can tease specific pieces of information out of a long text that you're being read. And ultimately, at the end, you will have a summative activity with putting it together, and then you'll see quiz results. Okay, so that is how pretty much each one of these study plans in these RhetLab modules are set up. So let me go back here for just a second. One of the things that you're going to want to do is go through the study plan, click all of those boxes that I just showed you. You're welcome to do the pretest if you want to. If you don't want to, that's fine. Sometimes the pretest can give you an idea of what is going to be covered in the module. If you want to take the pretest, that's fine. If you want to skip over it, that's fine as well. But you want to make sure when you open the plan here that you click all of these boxes, that you read all of the boxes, that you read the why it matters, the context, the strategies, box 2, box 3, box 4, putting it together, and then the quiz results at the end. That is worth 5 points. Okay, so just clicking on all of those boxes and reading through that information is worth 5 points. When you get to the end of that, you want to go and take your quiz on rhetorical reading. And this just kind of lists some information. So you can see Tucker. Sorry, I didn't know Tucker's name was going to pop up in here, but Tucker has already signed up and paid his fee and has got access to the material. You will see here that you have remaining attempts, quiz scores, and the date started. So you'll notice that you have 2 attempts on the quiz. So you can take the quiz twice. And what gets dumped into the Blackboard gradebook, and what I will see and what you will see, is the highest of those 2 scores. So each one of these quizzes is worth 20 points. Okay, so each RhetLab module in total is worth 25 points. 5 points for reading the information, 20 points for taking the quiz. And again, you have 2 attempts to take the quiz. The highest score is accepted and ultimately loaded into the gradebook section of Blackboard, which you'll be able to see. So you can kind of go through there and see as you go through those RhetLab modules how you're progressing. I have a record and you have a record of when you did the study plan, of when you did the quizzes, how many attempts that you took. All of those kinds of things are all set up within the specific study plan. So just to recap kind of what I've said, when you get to that assignment, when you get to the assignment in Module 2 that says RhetLab module on rhetorical reading, you'll want to click over here to where it says RhetLab Fall 2023. You want to do like Tucker did. You want to put in your debit or credit card, pay the fee to access the files. Then you will have this screen that will show up minus the instructor notes. You'll want to go down here to the rhetorical reading tab. You will want to complete the study plan. Make sure you read all of the information and all the boxes in the study plan. That's worth 5 points. Then you want to take the rhetorical reading quiz at the end. You have 2 attempts to take the quiz, and the highest of the 2 scores is ultimately recorded and put into the gradebook and Blackboard, and you'll have access to see that as well. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and that just kind of shows you how the RhetLab modules work. And instead of sending out a big long email, I thought I would just take a couple minutes to explain that to you. One other thing I will say about the quizzes: do the very best that you can on those quizzes, but keep in mind the quiz grades themselves. A majority of our grade in the class comes from the writing assignments and the essays that you do. So you want to do the very best you can on the quizzes, but please don't worry too much about them or feel like if you get a low quiz score, that means your grade in the class is going to be doomed to failure, or that you don't understand something, or that you're not smart, or whatever negative kind of thing we assign to ourselves when we do poorly on quizzes. Those are just used to get you equipped and prepared and knowledgeable with some of the skills that are going to help you as we start working on our writing assignments and as we start working on our essays. Last thing I'll say, and this is going a little bit longer than I thought it was going to, but last thing I will say is I drop your lowest 2 quiz scores. So we end up with I think we end up doing 8 of the modules, 8 of the RhetLab modules. I drop your 2 lowest quiz score grades, and the top 6 are the ones that count. One exception to that, one caveat of that is I only drop the 2 lowest quiz grades if you have attempted all of the quizzes. And what do I mean by that? So if we have 8 RhetLab modules that we do over the course of the semester, and you take all of the quizzes at least once for those 8 RhetLab modules, then I will drop the 2 lowest quiz score grades. If, let's say, for some reason you only attempt 6 out of the 8 quizzes within the RhetLab modules, even if you read the study plan. But let's say you read the study plan on evaluating sources, you don't take the quiz, then that grade will count. The only time I will drop the 2 lowest quiz scores is if you take all of the assigned quizzes with the RhetLab modules. So I hope that makes sense. I hope that's kind of clear what I'm talking about there. So if you attempt all the quizzes, complete all the study plans, attempt all the quizzes, by the end of the semester, there should be 8 in total. I will drop the lowest 2, and the top 6 will count. But you have to attempt all 8 of the quizzes in order to get the 2 lowest dropped. If you blow off taking 2 of them, or just decide not to take 2 of them, then those zeros are going to count, and the other scores will be factored in. So just keep that in mind. I drop the lowest 2, keep the top 6. And that's how that is factored into your grade. So I just wanted to show you where that is, how you access it, how it's set up, and how it's structured. If you have any questions about that or concerns, or you run into problems getting into the study plan or the quiz, or getting into the folder itself, let me know, and we can certainly work through those. Again, I've had a great opportunity to talk with some of you all this week already. A couple of you stopped by. I've talked to a couple of you on email, and talked to one person on Zoom. So that's been great. So feel free to stop by if you have any questions or concerns. If you'd like to talk face to face. My office hours are on the syllabus. I'm happy to meet at any other time. If you want to meet face to face, I'm always around usually. So I'm happy to meet at any time, happy to do a Zoom chat anytime, happy to talk on the phone or chat through email as well. So let me know if you have any questions or concerns. Hope you've had a great first week, and I look forward to getting into the content here starting next week. So stay well, and I will talk with you again soon.